Hi, I'm Pat Patterson, a Principal Developer Evangelist at Salesforce.com. Before Salesforce, I was at Sun Microsystems for most of the preceding decade in the Identity Management product group, working mostly with SAML 2.0, which is what I'm here to talk about today. So SAML 2.0, standardized over 8 years ago. It's a relative granddaddy in internet terms, very widely supported. Google, Salesforce, even Microsoft, your favorite service provider, is likely supporting SAML for single sign-on. Now, there's a little bit of jargon that goes with SAML. It's useful to understand. The service provider provides some service or resource to the user, trusts the identity provider to authenticate that user. Identity provider is where the user logs in, creates a SAML assertion to send to the service provider. Now you can build identity architectures with this base. Your enterprise is likely your identity provider. Service providers can be all around the web. Parties can be more than one. Salesforce is both. Broker's identity. The SAML 2.0 protocol is not that complicated. It's XML at its core, sure, but it's a bunch of browser redirects and form posts to request authentication from the identity provider and bring back a signed XML assertion. Now that assertion contains identity, but it can contain arbitrary attributes. Email address, job grade, a picture of your fluffy kitten. SAML can carry anything you want it to. And I've got to work on timing there. You can even provision identities. Just-in-time provisioning allows service providers to create accounts on the fly when they receive an assertion for an unknown user. So that means that you can give users immediate access to systems. So SAML is multi-purpose, single sign-on, provisioning, even account synchronization, because you can repeat that attribute transfer step with every login. But as the late lamented Billy Mays would say, that's not all. It can do much more. We can embed SAML within other protocols. This loose coupling between protocols allows us to use SAML in an OAuth flow to go right back to the user's enterprise to log them into a desktop application such as Chatter or even mobile. So the way that it works is that our OAuth app redirects to the OAuth authorization server and says identify the user. Authorization server says, hey, I need to do SAML. Redirects to identity provider, passes back the SAML assertion, and the flow goes back. We can even embed other protocols within SAML. That authentication user step can be anything, any web-based thing. Username, password, still the most common, but two-factor. You can even wrap protocols like Kerberos and use them within SAML. It's a very nice implementation, even though it was done by Microsoft. You get seamless login from your Windows desktop right into a service providers such as Salesforce. So SAML is composable with other protocols. We can wrap other protocols into SAML. We can use SAML within other protocols, and you can even do those all at the same time. But wait, that's still not all that SAML can do. The SAML assertion is a universal identity solvent. Thank you, Eve Mailer from Forrester, for that quote. Even competing federation protocols, I'm looking at UWS Federation, can use the SAML assertion as a token format. So that means that we can exchange tokens very readily. Authorization services can function as RESTful STSs. Anybody remember WS Trust? Me neither. So client apps can obtain a SAML assertion from the enterprise IAM infrastructure and exchange them and use them with other protocols. Anywhere that you can use an OAuth token, there's an IETF draft. The SAML 2.0 profile for OAuth 2, client authentication and authorization grants, a name only its authors could love. But this allows you to get your enterprise apps into the game. They can get a SAML assertion, they can exchange it, they get off to play with OpenID Connect, SCIM, cloud services like the Salesforce APIs, whatever you want to use. So even XACML has a SAML 2.0 profile. XACML breaks apart the authorization roles around your infrastructure, and SAML can act as the transport for XACML attributes. So wait, I'm telling you that SAML can interoperate with all of the other identity protocols on stage. Yes, it can. OpenID Connect, OAuth, SCIM, and XACML, SAML can work with all of them. So I know what you're thinking. Wow, mind blown. Thank you, Ian.